Hey y'all, how you doing today? All right, I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everything's going great for you there. I hope you're having a great new year. But I've had a couple of questions about the electronic ignition, and I just wanted to clear up, make a video to clear up more of the mystery and to basically make it a little bit more understandable. Okay, and to clear everything up. Now, I am not in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I am not a wiring expert. Okay, I will just go ahead and tell you right now: do not rely on one source for your information because, oh my God, I mean, we are all human here. Okay, so even people with 20 plus years experience will make mistakes. Um, you know, because those people with 20 plus years experience, guess what? They've made plenty of mistakes before, and they've got a lot of things going on in their lives. Okay, so they're like, they got kids and they got families and they've got other things going on. They've got to pay bills. They've got all of this other stuff going on. So that's why mistakes happen. Things get in the way sometimes. So, all right, with that out of the way, um, yeah, I've had some very good questions about this system, how to set it up, how to use it, um, and so, but like I was saying before, do not rely on just me. Double check, okay? Don't rely on just one guy for your information. Look at a lot of different people because there's a lot of different opportunities for something to go wrong, okay? So, and when you buy the kits, there's plenty of information on them from, I think, like Mopar Performance, Summit Racing. There's a couple other kits out there being made by a couple other different people, a couple other different companies. I'm sorry. Um, there's also um, there's also people now using the Mopar electronic ignition with the little brain box, little small, little 4 pin, 4 blade GM HEI ignition module, which is great. And if that's what you want to do, go for it. Okay. But some folks want to know about this. This is not a kit. This is stuff I've just put together over the years by myself. Find this stuff, people selling it, swap meets, yard sales, junkyards, whatever. Okay. So let's get into this. All right, let's start with the ignition switch. Okay. All right, it's turned off. Now, first you got to have a battery. So we got ourselves a good old battery here. Um, we're coming off the positive side of the ignition switch to the battery. Positive. Sorry. See what I mean? Positive side of the battery to the battery part of the ignition switch. Then we're coming off the ignition switch blade on the ignition switch, and comes through the red wire here and then goes to right here. Okay, yes, I've got this cruddy, nasty, awful, you know, butchered up connection here. Okay, I've got some right here, but this is just for testing. Okay, because if this was in a real vehicle, this wire gauge wouldn't be this small. And I would use better wire, better quality wire. I wouldn't be doing this or this. Okay, so just so you know. All right, comes to the one side of the ballast resistor. The power does, okay, from the ignition switch. Comes in to the ballast resistor, comes through the ballast resistor, and gets cut down to about 6 to 7 volts. Okay, goes to the ignition coil. Now, Couple of things about this. When it comes to the ballast resistor, it's going to get cut down to 6 to 7 volts. Why? Because the coil cannot handle 12 volts straight for a very long period of time. Now on startup, it will. It will have straight 12 volts going to it. But that is to get a good hot spark. Okay? But the rest of the time, it's running on just the ignition side. Okay? So on the start side, you're going to get a full 12 volts here. All right, so I don't have the other wire going here for 12 volts, for straight 12 volts. Okay? Which wouldn't be hard to do. You just have to come off here, another wire, and another switch. But I'm not messing with that right now. Or run it into this, into the ignition switch. But I'm not messing with that right now. I just want to get the basics out of the way here, show you all how to do this. Okay, now, positive side of the coil from one side, the other side of the ballast resistor. Positive side of the coil. Negative side of the coil comes off, goes over here to this position of this connector, the 5-star connector, 5-pointed star connector, ignition connector. Okay, so we got the positive connector, the red wire coming to the top position in the connector. Red wire coming from the other side, the positive side of the ballast resistor. Okay, the incoming side of the ballast resistor, let's say that. So it comes in, bam, right there. Now we've got the negative side of coming from the negative side of the coil. Okay, so this eventually makes its way to the positive side of the coil. Now you got to remember that in the coil is getting the ground turned on and turned off by inside here. Okay, so we'll just look in here real quick. It's not a big deal, because in there is our pickup. Okay. All right, now when you adjust that air gap in there, you need to use brass feeler gauges. Okay. So that gap right there between that contact and the pickup coil, that needs to be adjusted with a brass feeler gauge. It's best to do it with a brass feeler gauge. You can probably do it with something else, but a brass feeler gauge is probably going to be your best bet. So let me set this down so I can put this distributor cap back on. Kind of a two-handed deal. So when each one of those points on that rotor in there gets right next to the pickup, it sends a signal to switch on the coil, the ground, that is. Okay, so also this has a little metal tang right there that fits into the slot in the distributor, so to locate the distributor. Okay, just thought I'd pass that along. Okay, 2 wires left on the connector right here. We've got the black wire right here coming from this position of the connector, going to this black wire, goes to this yellow wire. Okay, this connector here, this is something I scrounged up, so that's not factory. Okay, all right, the gray wire comes over here from this position. Okay, so you see the gray wire right there comes from that position of the connector, goes over, touches it, and connects with the black wire going into the distributor for the pickup coil in there. Okay. Yeah. All right. quite a bit. All right, got a ground on the distributor. Goes over here to the ground side of the battery. Got a ground coming off of the battery going to the ignition box. There we go. All right. Pretty direct system, pretty simple. There is not a lot to it. I'm going to turn on my ignition switch. Yes. This is a Ford ignition switch. So, all right. Now, let's get some of these lights off. Okay, here we go. All right. Let's see. All right, ignition is on, so this should work. And look at there, it works. Although I've had a problem with my drill came off temporarily. I'll have to tighten the collar up just a little bit. Yep, and it worked its way loose. All right, we'll shut off the lights here, and we'll do it without the lights. So, let's see, here we go. How about that? Quite the light show, isn't it? All right, it's pretty amazing to me. Okay, so I'm gonna turn the lights back on. Okay, and let's turn the ignition switch back off. All right. Okay. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but when I turn the ignition switch on, I can hear a click over here in the coil. So just a neat little thing there, you know. Something to look out for when you're like in the junkyard scrounging around for parts like I do. If the bottom of the coil is flat, good and flat, good. If it's pooched out, if it's like got a, instead of it being nice and flat like that, it's rounded on the bottom, pass on. Keep walking. Okay? it's no good. Yeah, it's junk. So, okay. All right. So I hope you all have learned something from this. I'll tell you what, I'm seeing something right here I need to do to show you all a little bit more. I'm just going to get my multimeter out. Okay, and I'm going to just very quickly show you what's going on here. All right, so I'm going to turn my ignition switch on. I really need to have this switch mounted to something. Okay, let's see. My coil, let's see. All right, I'm getting 11.8 volts over here. What am I getting at the... All right, so I'm losing some voltage through here. All right, but that's okay. I mean, this, like I said, this is just for testing purposes. This is just demonstration. So what am I getting over here? 5.8, 5.7. So yeah, this system's operating at a bit of a loss. So, okay. Well, these wires, this wire right here, with that what is it? Fuse, and the fuse holder in there. Yeah, this stuff is really, really cheap. So that, yeah, the green wire is too. So, all right. Okay, I hope you learned something from all of that. I will be featuring making another video with all of this stuff on an engine. Okay, I'll probably put it on like the $50 318, or maybe the 239, the 239. I may even go so far as to take apart this, take all the wires apart and show you in detail how all of this is wired up on the car. Okay, so I may do that as well, because I know this system works. I know there's no issue with it. It's like it's running like a top. So, all right, let me unhook this stuff here real quick. There we go. Disable all that. But okay, yeah. Like I said, I hope you got something from all of this and you was able to learn at least something. But if you have any other further questions or ideas or anything else, comments, whatever, you know what to do. You're smart. Put them down there below. I'll do my very best to answer your questions. Just like, a couple of people have had questions about this. It is very important to get the wires correct and get them in the correct place. If you don't, you could burn something up. That's no fun. But do pay attention to the wiring diagrams. Oh, almost forgot. There's plenty of places online you can find the wiring diagrams. There's it's staggering. I mean, I've got a book right here, and you can, if you want, you can go somewhere. You can probably get these books online, buy them online. But, there's plenty of different places you can find all this stuff. So this is not like, some secret information that nobody's handing out anywhere like that. This is very common stuff. So, yeah, I mean, if I can make this work, you can make this work, okay? I'm not saying it's easy, because when you don't know and you've never done it before, it's not so easy. So, okay? And like I said before, I'm no different than you all are, okay? I mean, yeah, I got 20-something years experience, but you know what? I make mistakes too. I'm no different. So, anyway, we're over 530 subscribers, and it's like amazing. I never would have thought. So I owe you all a big thank you. I really mean it. So thank you so much. That means the world to me, and I really appreciate it. And I will keep doing this, and keep it up, and keep going at it. I've been thinking here lately about doing a more scheduled, regimented kind of thing, where I'm putting out a video, 1 or 2 videos a week, and doing it on a schedule. I'm kind of on the fence about it, because I really don't know. The thing is when you do that, you have to come up with content, and I kind of want the content to be genuine. I want it to be something that is, pertinent to everybody out there. I don't want it to be something that is, nobody relates to, or something like that. And there's some of the YouTube people are going out here and they're spending, pretty good chunks of change to go out here and buy vehicles and then do the revivals and get them running and all this stuff. And I kind of think it's a little bit better to, get something, get it running, and then turn around and maybe turn around and build it into something. So, I don't know, maybe something like that. What do you think? So anyway, all right, not criticizing nobody, okay? I'm just saying, that's what I'm going to do is build all this stuff here. So, all right. again, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for subscribing and the likes and the shares and all of that stuff. And God bless. Have a great one. Have a great new year.